Alright guys, what's up? I'm here today to show you my mono white milling deck. It is very unique in the fact that it is a mono white. I show this to people and they say there's no such thing as like a mono white milling deck. Like, milling is blue, but that is not true. I have made a really powerful white milling deck. First off, let's start with the land base. This is a very cheap deck to make. 20 basic planes. It's mono white. You don't need dual lands. You don't need shock lands. It's 20 basic planes. And I'm just gonna, because it's not really creature or spell based. It's just mill based. This first card, gain 7 life. I think it's straight up just like, let me set it in for you. It's straight up. It's just a good card. 4 mana, gain 7 life. It's just something I have. I run 2 Urgent Exorcisms, 2 mana, destroy target spirit or enchantment. 2 Oblivion Rings, it's obvious what those do. 2 Captain's Calls. For 4 mana, you get to put 3 1/1 white soldier creatures on the field. It's just defense. 3 Aven Squires. Flying 2 mana. It's just 1/1. I mean, it's got Exalted. That's what I like about it. Like, if you put one of these out, you can be swinging right over their heads with a flying creature and just get an easy 2 damage in every turn for 2 mana. And it's also a good blocker for flying creatures. 3 Gather the Townsfolk. I like this for the Morbid effect, but normally the Morbid effect isn't enough to change a game. It says, when you have 5 or less life, instead of putting 3, you put 5 tokens on the field. It's for 2 mana. Put 2 1/1 white human creature tokens onto the battlefield. And the Fateful Hour. It's not morbid, my bad. And then probably one of my favorite card is Cathedral Sanctifier. We're running 4. It's a 1 mana drop, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life, and that is going to play on a combo. You guys are probably like, this is not a milling deck. This is a crappy control life deck. I have 4 safe passages. This deck, as you've noticed, isn't really a lot of any aggro at all. It's not control per se. There's more control than there's been milling, but this is just for keeping me alive for 4 turns. I mean, it's a good card. Prevent all combat damage. I run 4 pacifisms. Get the big ones out of the way. I run 4 silences. This is to work into my milling combo. Yeah. Put those aside. And then, starting to get into the combo. Here's one of the cards that I've found. It says, it's 4 mana drop. It says, play with your hand revealed. It's a drawback. If you would draw a card, reveal the top card of your library instead. If it's a creature card, put it in your graveyard, otherwise draw a card. That really doesn't mean anything. The one I'm looking for is the bottom effect. Whenever a creature is put into the graveyard from your hand, return it to your hand. Whenever a creature is put into your graveyard from play, return it to your hand. That is the strategy. So basically, I have this. It's an enchantment for 4 mana. Any creature that hits the graveyard goes back to my hand. This I have proxied. They're coming in the mail. It's a 1 mana. It's called Mirror Moon Vessel. It's a 1 mana for a 1/1 artifact creature. It's an artifact. It's a mirror. And its effect says, whenever this creature is removed from play, not removed from play, like whenever it dies basically, or whenever it's like sacrificed or killed, it generates 1 mana, 1 colorless mana that can only be spent on artifacts. I think that's what the text says, but regardless, it says it's a 1 mana, and when it dies, it generates 1 mana. And then here it is. Grinding Station. It's a 2 mana artifact. It says tap it. Sacrifice an artifact. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her graveyard, or his or her library into his or her graveyard. This is the milling aspect. This is how I kill people. I mill them out. Everyone probably says tap it. Oh, that means you can only do it once per turn. Well, the bottom effect says whenever an artifact comes into play, you may untap Grinding Station. Guess what? Mirror Moon Vessel is an artifact. You put it onto the field, you sack it, it generates a mana, you tap this, and they have to mill 3 cards, and then you just do it all again. So if you get what I'm saying, with these 2 cards, and the Mirror Moon Vessel, which is proxied as a forest because I don't have them yet. They're in the mail coming. You basically, you put this down, you put the forest, or the proxy moon vessel, you put them down, you sack him, you tap this, it goes back to your hand with this, you use the 1 mana it generated, put them back in there, and then as you put them back on the field using the 1 mana it generated, the grinding station becomes untapped, and you do it all over again, and they mill 3 cards. So if you're playing a game with 5 people, and you're the 5th person, you say, I want to mill each of you for 1 million cards. So I'm going to do this 4 million times. And they all have to do 4 million times. And if they have something to say about it, silence. Woo! And whenever this hits the graveyard, it also goes back to your hand. So, that's basically 3 life for 1 mana every turn. And that is extremely powerful. But yep, that is my white mono milling deck. So yeah, comment, rate, subscribe. If you have anything better, I mean, tell me about it. I mean, anything that would help. If you have any other combos in it, I mean, go for it. I would love to hear. Thanks.